Hello everyone, it is Susan here. I am so excited to start this project. So this is the volume 2 of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I've decided to do Christmas and I'm putting my journal together, meaning I'm tearing the pages and the cover and all of that. So I want to show you what I did. And just to let you know, my inspiration for this is this little Just Because book that I had worked on a few months ago. And I like the size of it. It's basically 4 by 6 inches, but the one I'm going to make is slightly bigger. But what I really wanted to show you was this. This is a tag. This is a paper tag that I actually sewed into this little pocket. So the feature for the month of July is a tag. And so there is a way to add a tag onto a page. So all I did was make a little pocket. I think what I would do this time in my Roxy Christmas journal is I would make a tag, but I would make it out of fabric. And yeah, so it is possible to get a tag onto your page. So I just wanted to share that. So what I'm using for my pages is this. And so what I do is I like to go to well, I don't go often, but when I go to a thrift shop, I always look for, kits like crewel or cross stitch or whatever it is, right? And I buy them and then I kind of deconstruct the kit and I use the cloth, the pattern for one thing, and I use the yarn to stitch with and just all that kind of stuff, right? So I am using this for my pages, and I need to get 12 pages, which means, I always get confused by this. So I don't even think I'm going to take a minute to try, but I will have plenty of this fabric to make the pages that I need. So then, last Wednesday, I shared all of my Christmas fabrics. So if you want to see that video, it's there to watch. And what I decided to use, I just had to go with the black because I have an idea. So the size of this, the actual book is going to be like 5 1/4, basically by 6 1/4. So, my pages, I'm going to do probably about 5 inches by 6 inches, right? So it's like 1/4 of an inch less. So this itself is, well, that's 12. It's about 13 inches long, a little bit less, and it's the 5 1/4 high, right? So that's my cover. Now, this is the first page that I cut. So this is actually for 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, excuse me, 4. So when I did this one, I actually sewed right onto a patterned fabric, and then I sewed that fabric onto the page. So I think that's what I'm going to do this time. Right here I made a separate block, but for the most part, for the block itself, I just used fabric. This is actually a piece of paper ribbon that I used for the block on that one. So yeah, so that's what my thought is here as well. So what will happen is this is going to go in here, right? Now, I work on my pages, then I sew them in. So it's gonna open up. It's gonna open up like this, and my first page will be here. Now, my first block. So this is the one with the deer on it, right? So our prompt for the first 2 weeks in July is a deer or a reindeer. So that's what I'm going to do. So well, let me show you first. So this is the deer that I'm going to use right here. He has little presents. And I don't even know what I'm gonna do yet with him, but that's my deer, I know that. And so I'm gonna use that, but the background of it, right, I have to decide, well, what will I use for the background of that? So like even this beautiful green, that is definitely a possibility. But I'll go through my fabrics, like that would be gorgeous, right? Like there's so many options. Like even this plaid would look super pretty with the deer. In fact, I'm kind of liking the red more than the green because the red is gonna make that little present pop just a little bit. So as of right now, I'm leaning towards maybe using that plaid as the block, as the background for my first page. And of course you have all your little pieces of fabrics too you have to look through, but I kind of really like that. So I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah, I could definitely see using this. So I would cut this down to size. It's a fairly heavy piece. It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful piece of fabric. It almost looks like it's a linen napkin. It might be. But I would stick with the more red, which is kind of on the inside of this right here. That would look super pretty together. So that's my thought on that. I like that. And then when I'm done with that block, and when I'm done with the block on the other side, I will sew them on here. Now, the difference that I'm going to do in this journal from the volume 1, Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, is that I am going to sew the pages as I do them right into the cover. So I do have to, I guess, decide a couple things. Well, actually the first block that I did in this little journal went here. You know what? And maybe I will do that. Maybe I will put my first block right on the inside of the cover. In fact, that's what I'm going to do, which is fine. And I can sew it, I'll just be sewing it right around the edges of the block that's on the inside cover. But then as I get sewing on this fabric, I'm going to sew it right in. Like I did here, I sewed it right on. So how many, this was an easy one because it was one page that I had to sew in. So I sewed it, and you can see the cross stitch, which held that block in, is right there. But this is going to have more pages, so I'll probably just do a straight stitch. And then at the very end, my plan is to use this for the spine. And let me see if I can find, I need a solid red piece. Do I have solid red or something close to solid red? Because I want to show you. What I'm thinking of doing is, well, I'll just grab this piece right here. What I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to draw a poinsettia flower on here. Not too big because, well, maybe I will put the whole flower, just one flower. I was originally thinking I would put a flower and a stem, but now I'm thinking, well, wouldn't it be pretty to have one big flower? So I think that's what I'll do. So I'll draw the flower on here, which means just petals, right? I'm thinking right now that I would just draw some petals, cut them out, and then I would stitch them onto here to make one big poinsettia flower. So that's going to be the cover. But I do also want to stitch on here Christmas 2022, something like that. So I want to make sure that I have Christmas 2022 on here. So that's my thought process. So now that we're doing 2 blocks per month, you know, I'll be working on this first block myself. Next week, next Wednesday, I do these videos every Wednesday. I put something out for the Roxy Journal of Stitchery projects. And you know, maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna plan too much. Like when I did the first 6 months of this year, I did a lot of planning. This time I kind of want to wing it just a little bit more with all of you on the video. So anyway, so that's my plan. So I will see you next Wednesday, and we will continue with the deer prompt. And I have to think about the tag. I kind of wish I knew what the second prompt for this month was so I could figure out, because I feel like I need to put like what I would probably do is if I decided to make the tag in for this block, I would probably make this into a tag, right? This would be my tag, and this would be my background, and I'd have to put some sort of a, well, I was going to say I'd have to put some sort of a pocket, but I really wouldn't. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's all coming together. I have it in my head. I think I know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. Okay. See, talking it out with you guys is very helpful. But anyways, okay. I'm going to stop there, and I will see you next Wednesday. And I have Rachel and Sarah's YouTube channel links below. Please go check them out. They give so much inspiration and such great ideas. And yeah, and that's where you will see the prompts every other week. So, okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.